Hey, this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be doing my full review of the CKF Sokosha. This is the Custom Knife Factory Sokosha. Wow, what a knife. Okay, before we get into all of that, please follow me at Knife Standards. You can follow me on Instagram. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a lot more knife content and weekly knife reviews. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and talk Custom Knife Factory. It feels like it's been a while since I did a video, but I think it's only been, I don't know, like not even a week. It feels like a long time. But I've been working on something which I can't quite announce yet. But in the next couple weeks, I will make an announcement and post a video about it. It'll be all over my Instagram, all of that fun stuff. So keep an eye out in the next, I want to say few weeks. In the next few weeks, I should know more about this thing that I'm working on. So I will let you guys know. I'm very excited about it. Can't say a whole lot now, but soon. Okay, so back to the full review. Now this full review is a little bit overdue. When I first got this knife, I was pretty bummed, and you guys can watch my my unboxing first impressions. My first impressions of the actual knife, I think, were pretty solid, but the action was like just so gritty. I mean, you know, CKFs are known for their super smooth guillotine action, and it would just kind of stop on me. And you can hear it. You can kind of hear the grit in the pivot. I thought, what is this? You know, I don't mind if I get a knife that's on the secondary market or that's been used or whatever, and it's a little bit gritty, or if I've been using a knife and it's dirty, I don't mind taking it apart and cleaning it and figuring out why it's gritty. If anyone is wondering, I do have an update on my on my Skaha 2. If you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and talk about that in a little bit. And the reason I bring that up is, if you guys don't know, that was super gritty. Got that secondhand, you got it used. It was super crunchy and gritty, and I did my best to figure it out. Anyway, I'll give you guys an update about that soon enough, but let's go ahead and talk about this. So anyway, I looked inside. I didn't take it apart, but I looked kind of inside where the detent ball is and kind of checked it out. And there was a lot of, it looked like grease to me. And I guess that's what they use to lube up their knives. That's a CKF thing, apparently. And it looked like it had gunked up or congealed or something. So I went in and I just took a Q-tip and I kind of got in there, didn't take it apart, just got in right on the liner lock and just wiped it down, and then played with it a little bit more, wiped it down again, and all of a sudden, insane action. So my first impressions were so because of the action, and as soon as I got that cleared up, this knife just went to the next level. This is not a cheap knife, and that's one of the reasons why I was not happy about the action initially. These things are going for, on the secondary, I think they're going for like 700 plus, and I want to say I got this, I was lucky enough to get this on the drop. I think it was, it was NC Blade, super cool. I think they might be the only, I was going to say super cool CKF dealer, but they might be the only American CKF dealer. Anyway, got it from NC Blade, and yeah, well, I feel like these are like 500-ish. I don't remember the exact price, but not a cheap knife, so I expect the action. I mean, if it's a $500 plus knife, the action better be damn good. The materials, of course, are great. We got M390 blade, hand rub, satin. I mean, just ridiculous hand satin on this drop point blade shape. Almost a clip point action going on, but I'm calling that drop point. And really sticky edge. Got the CKF logo, of course, full titanium handle. You got the signature CKF cool carbon fiber. It's this kind of wave pattern. It looks like over a shred or marble carbon fiber, they do this really cool wave. Carbon fiber feels great. Titanium handles are anodized bronze, which I don't like, but that's okay. And M390 blade steel, I don't know if I said that. It does have a glass breaker, which I like. Some people hate on the glass breakers. And of course, the clip is this crazy zircotai, you know, fancy schmancy clip. It does come with extra hardware, full set of extra hardware, extra bearings, and it comes with a plain clip. Sokosha, CKF, and Marfione, which is Microtech. Boom. I'm okay with the fancy clip. I have carried this knife quite a bit, have not cut with it a whole lot, and I'm not sure if I plan to when you know, I'll use all of my knives, but of course, if I have some serious cutting to do or something that requires, or you know, something that I'm not comfortable using a $600 knife for, then you know, I'll bust out the Skaha, or I'll bust out the what else do I have over here? You know, even the VBR, which, you know, this is about 300. But I feel like, to me, this is more on the art piece collectible side of the knife hobby, for me at least. When it starts getting in that 500, 600, 700 range, that's what I kind of lean towards, is not necessarily a safe queen, but just like, you know, functional art. Like, yeah, I'm gonna carry it. If I want to use it, I will. If I need to use it, I will. But if I have the choice, I mean, I can bust out the quiet carry drift. I have a lot of choices, and sometimes I'll carry 2 knives just in case. I'm rambling. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this knife. We have a giant pivot. I'm not exactly sure. I think that's T20 maybe, which is awesome. I don't see that a whole lot. Thumb stud deployment. We have an inset liner lock. Lockup looks great. And of course, the action is just insanity. The acoustics are pretty damn good too. A lot of times I will close my knives, my knives. Why am I saying it like that? My knives. It's late, okay? I'll close my knives, you know, I'll kind of just let them drop. And this one, I'll have my thumb here, you know? And this one, I'm not gonna get my finger guillotined, so I'm letting it kind of get past the detent and then fall shut. Really, really solid action. Let's go ahead and do a quick, oh, by the way, you know, part of the reason why these are so expensive is they only made, I think, I'm guessing for the satin finish, I think there was like 100 of them, right around there. And then they also had a, like a kind of a coated, almost looked like a coated, partially coated, maybe DLC, and then stonewashed. So this kind of beat up coating right along. Oh, by the way, this is a full flat grind, and it had it just across here. So it's a partially coated blade, and it looked great, but that was more available than the satins. The hand satin I'm pretty sure there was only 100 of them. If anyone wants to fact check me on that, please feel free. Let's go ahead and do a size comparison. This is not a small knife. This is a pretty serious handful. Now let's go ahead and get, what are we gonna get? Let's get the BBR. I have this right here. This has been kind of living on my desk recently. Very kind of similar ergos, similar angle, and I've been talking about my Skaha enough. Let's go ahead and get that out for a size comparison. Now, let's get these measured up. VBR, about 3.5 on the blade, 8 overall. The Sokosha, yeah, just about, I'm gonna call that 3.5, maybe a little bit more. and then about 8.25 overall. And then the Skaha, we're sitting at just about 3.25 and 7.5 or so. Now, let's go ahead and take the Skaha out of the way. And by the way, if you were curious about the Skaha update, I put in, I got some skiffs for the Skaha, did not help at all. I cleaned it, I took it apart, I cleaned it again, I adjusted the action. I mean, it's a shaker, doesn't compare to my blue Skaha. It's better than it was. The D10 actually feels better since I cleaned it and oiled it and all that, but it's just still a little bit crunchy. Is it a deal breaker? No, the carbon fiber, it looks great, but just wanted to give you guys an update if you were in the Skaha, if you're interested in the Skaha saga, my Skaha turmoil that I've been going through the last few days. Okay, anyway, let's take a look at the Sokosha and the VBR. Really kind of similar handle, similar lines, similar angles. Now they say that the CKFs are not built by Riyadh, which I believe, but I'm pretty sure these parts are machined in China somewhere. And I've heard that it's at, I think it's Kevin John factory, something, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But I'm pretty sure these parts are machined in China. Whether they're assembled there or not, assembled in Russia, I'm not sure. But the VBR is, of course, OEM'd and produced by Riyadh, which is a Chinese company, and they do excellent work. But yeah, very, very similar. When I feel these ergos compared to the Sokosha, similar feel. This feels a little bit more tactical, a little bit rougher around the edges. This is a little bit more comfortable, smooth, rounded edges, which depending on my mood, I think I tend to prefer the feel of the VBR. But then again, these are some of the best ergos that I have felt ever. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. And let's go ahead and talk about some upsides, talk about the downsides first, because there aren't that many of them. One downside, the ano on this titanium, I hate it. I do not like bronze anodization. To me, I'm not a fan of bronze. I would much rather look at plain titanium. I know that gets boring for some people. For me, I'd rather this be plain than bronzed anode. I get what they're going for. It's kind of that like rugged, almost like aged, old school, almost like army-ish look. I think that's what the point was, but bronze doesn't do for me. Can I appreciate it for this knife? Yeah, definitely. I think that's cool. Would it look cooler with a different color ano? I mean, nothing crazy. I don't want a purple Sokosha, but plain titanium, maybe even blackened titanium would have been awesome. But just a little nitpick critique for me, for my tastes. The main downside, and this will lead us into ergos, the main downside of this knife, of course, we got action is phenomenal, fit and finish looks great. There's no hot spots on the knife, no sharp corners on the knife. The machine work, the machining is great. The only downside is this damn clip. And it's not the material. Of course, the zircotai, this pattern, the material, this is top notch, fancy, high quality Damascus. It looks great. But the feel and the way this sits in my pocket is just, it is deep carry, but it reminds me of the standard Microtech clip, which, as it should, this is Microtech Marfione related. See the little Marfione dagger. It just is pokey. It's okay in pocket. It's not my favorite. The way it it's a big knife, so take that into consideration. But deep carry is fine. I don't need it to be deep carry, but this from here to here, it just sucks in hand. It's just super sharp and pokey for my hand. And I can make little adjustments so I feel it less. But no matter what, I feel, this is my most comfortable grip for this knife. And it's just, you can see it, it's just digging into my hand. And everything else is really ergonomic, kind of conforms and fits and molds to my hand, except for, I said it's from here to here, but it's really just this. And I feel like that's what some people complain about when they complain about Vero engineering. They complain about that, the tip of the clip. I feel like that's what they are feeling, which I actually don't feel on most of my Veros. I think it's not a big deal on the Veros, but I feel like that is the same feeling that they're talking about, this kind of hot spot just at the end, which is a bummer. Does it make the knife less desirable to carry? No. Does it make it, less fun to use? No. It's just, I just feel like they kind of, like, I don't know, took a shortcut on the clip. They were like, yeah, let's just use our Microtech clip. That'll be okay. When I feel like a machined, like a titanium machined clip, just something, it doesn't need to be the Damascus, it doesn't need to be fancy, but even with this, I mean, the clip that they included, it's the same clip, so I'm going to still get that same issue with the plain clip. I just feel like they kind of phoned it in with the clip, and for the price of the knife and how everything, just the details and like everything is so well machined and like put together, it's just such an awesome knife that I feel like they could have done a better job on the clip. That's basically the only two downsides that I have. One thing that I did want to check, I wanted to see if these are T8. Yep, T8, okay. Let's see, where's my driver? Yep, all right, cool. I was looking at them, they look so small compared to the, whatever that is, T20. I wanted to double check. There is a lanyard hole, which I don't care about. I've heard people complain about the glass breaker, not only on this knife, but on other Microtechs. Why? It's a Microtech thing. Like that, I understand. I don't get the clip. I do understand that. Not a huge deal. If I ever needed to break some glass, I'm glad it's there. It's kind of like one of those things that you never have to use, but if you ever needed it, you'd be glad that you have it on the end of your knife. Now, there is some really nice, extensive internal milling. Let's see if you, man, every time I do a video, I'm like, I gotta get a flashlight in here. And I have my Dapper Design Ion, but that is not on the desk with me right now. But anyway, there is some really nice internal milling, a little bit hard to see. Some nice milling pockets. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, it's tough, but really nice internal milling. The weight is good, not too heavy for being such a large knife. The weight is not too serious. It feels balanced in my hand. I like this jimping that goes all the way from the top, kind of above the pivot, top of the handle onto the blade. It's very comfortable. Everything is chamfered down, smooth. Yes, it feels tactical. Are the ergos unbelievable, amazing? No, but are they very comfortable? Yes. This definitely feels like a knife that if I had a collection of $1,000 knives, which I don't at the moment, this is sitting at whatever, 600, 500, 700, whatever it is. I feel like this would be my user knife. This would be my EDC. Or if I only had this knife and I didn't have any other knives, what a great EDC. Thumb studs, which is my favorite deployment method. Kind of the classic, really solid, comfortable detent. I'm not struggling to open it up like I do on some of the, and by struggle, I don't mean I can't get, I'm talking about Chavez knives. I can't get, not that I can't get it open, but that my thumb gets chewed up. These thumb studs are very comfortable. They are a little bit unique. They sit kind of low, so you do have to get used to kind of pushing it instead of flicking it out or you just have to get used to kind of where your thumb, depending on how big your hand is, kind of where your thumb sits. You kind of get your thumb in and then pop it, which I got used to that fairly quickly. Again, the action is ridiculous. This is a really great knife. Now that the action is cleared up and I got all that grease out, it's totally worth the price for me, for my tastes. A lot of these CKF knives are really limited edition. They come out, once a year, maybe if that, maybe twice a year. But a lot of these will just come out once a year, or just one time, and then that's it. And I feel like being so limited, and kind of the detail work, the machining quality, everything that goes into this knife, I feel like it's definitely worth the price. Action, ergos, very solid. Hand rub satin blade, looks phenomenal. It's just a damn good knife. Would I prefer it to be a different plain titanium, blackened titanium? Sure, but I understand the bronze. I get it. I get what they're going for. Overall, really, not for everyone. I feel like this has a very specific demographic. But for me, it's just a well-built, awesome, kind of beefy, serious, tactical knife, but at the same time, very, very, functional art / collectible too, which I think is a big plus, especially when I go through so many knives and I have so many knives. It's nice to have some kind of artsy pieces where I think, this is part of my collection now. Will I be getting rid of this? No, definitely a permanent part of my collection. I think that just about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I got a lot more cool stuff coming up very soon. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Knife Standards. I will catch you later.